traveling sometimes, and travel has changed so much in the last few years. You can go over to Walmart, and I don't know if you can still buy a road atlas or not.
Yep.
Are they still some of them there? They're about an antique now. Nobody reads that book, nobody gets it out and starts going, okay, go down here. Because everybody's got them fancy GPSs. Some of them got you in your car, that car will talk to you. Where, you got, I need to find so-and-so. Go down here and turn right. I need one that talks to me pretty straight. Hey, dummy, you're lost. Go down here. Okay? And I can remember many times traveling with my wife, and we'd be lost, and I wouldn't admit to it. A bunch of you men are in the same boat as me. Don't laugh at me. A bunch of y'all drove all over the countryside, your wife begging for you to stop at the gas station if you want. I know where we're at. All those people pointing fingers at you. You been there? Woo! Truth will set you free. Circle and drive and go all over the place, looking, and my wife be begging, why don't you stop? I said, I think I know where we're at. This looks familiar right here. And I wouldn't have a clue. I think, does that look? And the older I get, I forget things. And, what was that? Looks familiar, I was in high school 3 times. But I can remember, back then, you didn't have that fancy, and I've got one on my phone now, and it talks to me. I can even say, the only problem I got, it can't understand hillbilly. I've talked in that thing, and it'll something. I said, no, that's not what I'm looking for. I said, it can't understand me. Would you speak, somebody that can speak good English, speak into this phone and tell where we want to go? Because I speak a slang, a form of hillbilly something / something. Okay. But speak into that thing, and then the next thing it knows, what we were, I'll tell this one. Me and a few of my buddies from church went to Florida on motorcycles. Okay. Fairly uneventful, down there. On the way back, we get to Atlanta, Georgia. Anybody been through there lately? That ain't a good place to come from, okay? Not if you're a hillbilly that's used to 92 and 25. And 75, 75 from Corbin, to Williamsburg is a big track. We get up there and they detour us around Atlanta. I thought, well, this can't be that hard. We made it hard. We circled. We were heading towards. We were heading towards South Carolina. One minute we was heading this direction. Finally, we got off the side of the road, and I said, "Let me get my phone now." Well, Mike had the atlas out, and Larry says, "I know where we're at." And I said, "I'll find us a way out of here." So I get over there, and I don't speak, but I punch it in because I thought if I'm speaking, it'll take a while. So I finally, and it comes to find out we're about 6 miles from where we need to be. No big, just get on the interstate. But we've been circling the wagons like lost, hillbillies. And once we got over there to 75, we were on familiar ground. And I said, oh, praise the Lord, we're on 75 north. If we'll just stay on this will get me to exit 11 in Williamsburg. If I'll just stay on this, don't get off of it, don't make no detours. But I was on a familiar path at that point, and guess what? It was going to lead me where? Home! And I think about that, and I said, well, unlike when I'm traveling, used to, when I travel anymore, my wife said, give me that phone. She started finding it. She said, I'll find this way out of you. Doesn't wait on me. But finding the path. And it brings a peace of mind, a calmness when she said, oh my goodness, I can remember as a kid, we lived in Knoxville, Tennessee, And I remember riding that old road, you know, from Knoxville up here. Anybody ever done that way? I vomit every time we come. Every trip I get sick, you know, because it's like this right here. And I was like, oh, going to Mount Miles, I'm going to get sick, you know. Then I-75 was built, and it was something else. And I can remember traveling. I still thought it was a long way. But I can remember as a kid when we got to Jellicoe, Tennessee, there was a gas station sign that always stuck in my mind. And I knew when I saw that sign that we were almost to Miles. And I'd say, we're there, even though we really weren't, but it was just a few minutes before we'd be pulling off the interstate and heading over to Jellicoe Creek. But I can remember seeing that familiar, and it brought a peace of mind, a calmness to me as a kid when I saw that. Because it was familiar, it was a path that I had traveled, and I knew I was secure there, and I knew it wouldn't be long that I'd be sitting at the table eating some of my granny's cooking. On that familiar road, finding the path, finding the road. Jeremiah spoke about this. Says if you'll just stand in your ways and see, if you'll just look and ask for the old path, where is the good way, and you'll just walk therein, you're going to find rest for your soul if you'll look, if you'll stand, if you'll see, and then you will be obedient and walk in that path. Many of us are bearing scars all over our spiritual being because of us straying from the path. Guilty. Got those spiritual scars upon me because I strayed from the familiar path. I knew where it was, I saw where it was, but I refused to walk therein. Dumber than a cow. Wouldn't walk in that familiar path, wouldn't walk in where I knew that I was going to find comfort, rest for my soul, if I would simply walk therein. Many Christians today, many church members today are living a life of misery because they will not see, they will not walk, and they will not find rest. Amen. They won't do it. Well, preacher, that's kind of rough, ain't it? It's the Word. It says here, you'll find rest for your souls, but they said, no, we won't walk therein. You know, it's not popular anymore to tell folks, hey, won't you come to church? You mean you go to church? Well, I used to go. I just don't like going much anymore. I found it, you know, I'm not going. How long has it been? Maybe 10 years. Maybe this amount of time, maybe this amount of time. Those folks who know the way, but don't walk in it. We will not walk therein. Many tonight refusing to walk therein. A lack of shame for the sin. Instead of looking for that proven way, that road, that path, instead of saying, hey, you know, a lot of church folks are just like I am in the car. Or I was in the car, circling the wagon, refusing to ask for help. Letting my pride get in the way and say, I know the way, honey. I'll get us there in a little while. And I could hear her going, and I knew right then after a couple of that I better stop and ask for some, you know, and then you swallow your pride, man, and you get out of the car and walk in and say, hey, buddy, I'm lost. And my wife was upset out here. Could you please tell us? And that guy said, buddy, just go down here, turn left, right there you are.